welcome to another episode of Charlton Weekly. Now let's get straight into this week's topics. So yes, the EFL are going to be investigating, quote unquote, the situation at Charlton Athletic. Now, what does this actually mean? Well, the general consensus from Charlton fans, as far as I've seen on social media and stuff like that, is that the EFL aren't actually going to do much at all, if anything at all. And there's been an interesting little turn of events in the last couple of days whereby the club have made a statement, or actually it's called a club comment, and it's not really made clear by the club who has written this statement. But a few people have been suggesting that we know who this is, we know who's made this comment, and it is of course the club owner Roland Duchâtelet. This hasn't been confirmed, this hasn't been denied, but given the way he said what he said, it would make sense if it was. So let's read this statement right now. The EFL has said they want to meet with the club to get a full understanding of the current situation that surrounds the club. One of the key factors that has played a role in the differences between the fans and the ownership has been around communication. Therefore, the club has written to the EFL and suggested as part of the process that they examine the communication by the club, card, the Charlton Athletic Supporters Trust, and on various social media platforms. Once they have analysed the past communication and have a broader awareness of all the facts, we have asked the EFL to make recommendations on how the club and other groups can improve this. We have asked that recent events investigated include the employee bonus issue, cost efficiencies relating to cleaning and the supply of drinking water at the training ground. We have also asked the EFL to consider, are the cost efficiencies helping the sale of the club? Are the protests helping the sale of the club? The club will meet with the EFL in early October to discuss in more detail. So at the very least, we have a time frame when this is happening. It is happening in early October, which is, you know, not too far off. It's just around the corner, really, a couple of weeks' time. And that statement or that comment is interesting. Notably for me, I think, in the 2 bullet points at the end, we have asked the EFL to consider, are the cost efficiencies helping the sale of the club, and are the protests helping the sale of the club? So what he's trying to say is, I'm not entirely responsible for everything. You actually have to look at the other side and how that's implementing on the sort of stall of a takeover and all that kind of stuff. There's way too much detail to go into here. But it's the kind of stuff that with the next ownership, you don't want to see comments like this being made around situations like this. At the end of the day, in my opinion, there's a clear... We are a 27,000 stadium club in London, right? We've got a rich history. We've come runners-up in the league, in the top league of English football in our past. We've won the FA Cup. We have been in the Premier League for 10 years, so we've got exposure in recent history on that sort of grand global level, and we can't sell the club. It just doesn't really make much sense. Is it the protesters' fault? No. Is it the cost efficiencies' fault? Probably not fault-wise, but I think that is a thing that needs to be looked at in terms of the process of selling it. I don't know. There's loads of things to consider and talk about here, but this statement didn't sit too right with me. But hey-ho, that's how it is. That's the situation right now, and I can only give further updates when the club actually do meet the EFL in October. I hope there's some good representatives chosen also to sort of talk to them, because it's something that can quite easily be ignored, and the EFL not only don't have the best sort of processes and rules and stuff like that, so we'll see. Let's get on to some actual football stuff now. So injury wise, Ben Reeves is back and he is looking very, very good. He provided a really, really nice assist for Naby Sarr. I don't know if it actually counted as his assist, but he whipped in the free kick, beautiful delivery. That resulted in our third goal against Wycombe. We'll get onto the Wycombe game in a second. So him coming back from injury is really good. We've obviously got Tariq Fosu back, who's currently serving a 3-4 match suspension, whatever it is. So he's on the horizon coming back as well. And also we do have Veta Kelly coming back to good fitness as well. We have just lost, however, Bilic for about 2 weeks, and also 2-3 weeks for Darren Pratley, who has suffered a bit of an injury as well. Billy Clark is 4 weeks away from training, which means we're probably going to see him getting some first team action, probably, you know, coming off the bench every now and then, maybe getting some cup games, under 23 games and that kind of stuff in probably early November, I would suggest. However, Billy Clark suffered a bad injury, so it may take a little bit longer for him to get back. As long as he's back in the picture by Christmas, I'll be happy, because right now we're not looking too bad up front. Jose is the other player who is injured a little bit at the moment. Let's see what I've got on my notes over here, because I can't remember what he's done. I think it was a hamstring. It was indeed a hamstring, and it looks like he is okay, but may miss a week or two of football. So Nicky Jose playing a sort of sort of centre forward, centre attacking midfield role. Ben Reeves coming back is now going to probably come in straight away and fill that. Lapsley has been brilliant as well, as far as I've seen, especially against Wycombe. He came on and was really, really good, really quick, really skillful. There was one moment against Wycombe where he should have cut on. He did cut on his left foot, but he should have shot and tried to score, but he sort of cowered away from it a little bit. After a fantastic dribble, it has to be said. So he was like so much confidence, and then, oh, I'm not going to use my left peg. I'm going to lay it back, and the chance fizzled out. But George Lapsley, 20, I think, years old, looks like an amazing football player for Charlton in the upcoming seasons, and hopefully he can stay in and around the first team for the next few weeks and months and for the whole season, really. So yeah, Saturday's game, we had come off of the back of some pretty dodgy home form, it has to be said. We hadn't really been playing that well at home or been getting real good results at home. We lost to Peterborough, we drew with Fleetwood, and finally we scored 3 goals in front of a home crowd, and it was really, really good to see. We did concede 2, but we deserved to win the game. Whether we deserved to win it narrowly, I'm not sure. 3-1 would have been fair. 3-2 just commends Wycombe for their sort of conversion. Sorry if you hear the dog barking, by the way. But yeah, it was a 3-2 scoreline, and I'm pretty pleased with the 3 points. But hopefully we can play teams like this in the future, this season, and dispose of them a little bit more comfortably, I suppose. But it was a good performance. We played well. We played in spells, and during those positive spells, we looked unbelievable. Like, we really looked like we could take that to any team in League One and beat them. But it's the consistency with which we can have these periods within games, and also the players and the personnel to be able to do it. Have we got a big enough squad to be able to do that over 46 games plus cup games? Hopefully, but it's going to be a struggle. But it is positive signs overall, I think. We had that overhead kick that almost went in from Lyle Taylor, which would have been unbelievable if that went in. It was. I was watching it live and I just went, no. Everybody, it was one of those moments where everybody just pauses for a couple of seconds, and unfortunately it just went the wrong side of the post and went over. But that was a really, really good exemplification, don't know if that's a word, but a good example, I should just use that really, of Lyle Taylor's skill and the kind of maverick that he is for us up front, and I've been so impressed with him. Out of all of our signings, him and Prattley have been my favourite. He's also going pink in October for cancer research and awareness, I think. And I think that's really good. I was in the room for his interview on Saturday after the game, and he comes across as a really grounded, nice bloke, good individual, and interesting as well, which is really good to see. And I'm really glad that that kind of player is playing for our club, because we need characters like him. So in terms of the league, we are now in 8th position, which roughly is probably about where I expect us to be. I expect us now, having seen, because there has been like a month played now, we're a month into the season, we've played several games. Have we seen the best of some of our star players like Fosu, Reeves? Obviously Clark will come back. No, and we're still excited to see like Kelly, players like that, and how our youth that has come through the season will progress, like Lapsley and Morgan and stuff. No, we haven't seen that entirely, but we have got a flavour of how we're going to play, how Bowyer sets up to play. And I think that somewhere between, I'm going to make it a little bit less broad than last season. Yeah, last season I said between 2nd and 10th. We ended up finishing bang in the middle in 6th. This season I'm going for a slightly smaller sort of gap there, and I'm going for somewhere between 5th and 8th, just because the instability at the top of the club, the ownership wise, I think will rock the boat a little bit, and I don't think we can quite get automatics. But that being said, this could change in about a month's time once I see our starting 11, if everybody was fit and Lee Bowyer play that. So at the moment, between 5th and 8th is what I'm saying. That is subject to change, and I'll probably give my last prediction sort of late October, because then it just gets too long and I can just keep saying a new prediction every month. But yeah, I would say between 5th and 8th is where we're going to finish this season, which is not good enough for Charlton really, but for the situation as it is with the ownership that we've got, it's probably as good as we're going to get. So let's hope that it is at the higher end of that if it comes true. So ladies and gents, let me know down in the comments where you think we are going to finish this season. You can either do a nailed on position or give yourself a little bit of a safety net like I have and say between this position and this position. But I want to know what you guys think based off of what you've seen from Charlton this season, so let me know down below. We do have time for this week's humorous comment of the week, and there's a man who is just, he's won it twice now. This is the second This is the second time he's won this award, and I know that everybody who's a Charlton fan wants to win this award, and it is very prestigious, but you lot, you need to get funnier, alright? You need to start making some more funny tweets. But this week's one is going to Mr. Louis Mendes, who had this to say. So he initially said that Charlton have been fined £5,000 for failure to control players during the brawl at Southend that resulted in 3 red cards. We all know what he's talking about. The Shrimpers will find the same amount, #CAFC. He then followed this up by saying, Roland Duchâtelet currently gently weeping into his cost-cutting spreadsheet. 1-2 shots fired at Mr. Duchâtelet there from Louis Mendes. But I thought that was this week's humorous comment of the week, or I thought it was humorous enough to be this week's humorous comment of the week. So Louis Mendes, you've won it for the second time. You lot, start coming in with funny Charlton tweets, because otherwise this segment's going to get a bit stale. Right, so I'm just going to end off the video now. We got a weeping baby outside. We got a dog barking. Sorry if you can hear all that, but it's my fault for choosing to record at this very hectic time. But all that needs to be said, guys, is that the Fantasy League is still open. We're still going for prizes for whoever wins it at the end of the season. So make sure you go to the description. Make sure you click on the link. Make your own team. We're at 50+ members now. So this is going to be a very, very interesting season for Premier League fantasy football. But get involved. Get down in the description. Get joining the league, and we'll see who wins it. The prize will be, and I've said this 2-3 times now, but it will be probably a gift shop voucher for the Charlton store. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. In terms of content coming up, we've got the FIFA 19 demo, which I am going to stream. That is coming out tomorrow or today in terms of when this video is released, probably. I don't know what time it's coming out, but as soon as it is, and as soon as I download it successfully, I will be streaming it. Then, obviously, FIFA 19 is just on the horizon. I will be doing, because you guys seem to love it last season, a Charlton career mode, and I will also be doing some other bits and bobs throughout the FIFA 19 sort of lifespan. So make sure you stay posted for that on the channel. Thank you very much for watching this rendition of Charlton Weekly. Leave all your comments and thoughts down below. I'll see you later. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Sweet.